Hello and welcome to Archfeldor's Hacks with Archfeldor and his amazing hacks. And today we're going to be pulling off a rather complicated exploit. Some exploits are simple, this one is not. I advise you to pay closer attention, closer than normal to this video to avoid unnecessary frustration when setting this up. Okay, this video is one in a series of videos where I do mean stuff to my pet. We're going to be heading to the Firelands, so we ported to Mount Hargel from Ogrimmar, and we're going to be getting a griffin. This video concerns the cornered ability that hunter pets in cunning spec have. Going to be heading down to the entrance to the Firelands, and the cornered ability is essentially a PvP ability. It's designed for PvP, and the cornered ability allows your pet to do 50% extra damage when its health is at 35% or less. Now, a while back, a few very savvy hunters figured out that they could just damage their pet in some way and start out with a 50% damage boost and put it on their stampede bets and do crazy DPS. And a few months ago, Blizzard caught on to that, and what they've done, their hotfix was, as usual with Blizzard, quite crude. They made it so that when you summon your stampede pets are summoned with full health. So you couldn't simply get your pet into combat with something and get it down to 35%. You had to actually think a bit creatively around the box. So this video is really about how to get around that countermeasure and do increased damage without actually finding a debuff hack where the debuff itself increases damage, though this technique can be used in conjunction with that. Okay, so we're now heading into the Firelands. It's lovely this time of year. If you've ever visited Glasgow, it's a little like that. Now what we're going to do is get a debuff on our pet, and this is just a pure damage debuff. And we want that debuff to take our pet's health down to lower than 35%. This sounds simple. It's surprisingly complicated, and I filmed this video about 20 times. The difficulty is you've got to get a damage debuff on your pet without actually killing the pet, but also making sure that it is sufficiently lower than 35%. So we're now inside the Firelands instance, and we're going to be visiting this guy, the Molten Lord. I'm not quite sure how aristocratic titles are handed out in the Firelands. Now in theory, any damage debuff would work for the purposes of this exploit. In practice, you want a kind of Goldilocks debuff. You want a debuff that is neither too strong nor too weak, and getting the balance right is actually rather difficult. This guy, I have found, the Molten Lord, is the best for these purposes. I put about 5 stacks on my pet. Your mileage may vary depending on the exact strength of your pet, but you want about 5 stacks, give or take a few, and that will take your pet down to very close to death. You want to err on the side of too much rather than too little with this sort of thing. Once you've actually got the debuff on your pet, its use in PvP is fairly straightforward. The only real issue is you want to avoid your pet actually dying, but that's something I found can usually be avoided with the intelligent use of defensive cooldowns. Only real exceptions to that would be with a very sophisticated player at a high level. For PvE, it's rather more complicated because you're not in your pet's natural spec for PvP, which would be ferocity. So there's DPS loss from that, and that has to be compensated for by the 50% damage boost. So you need it on your pet for a reasonable amount of time. and that's something where you're going to have to do a bit of theory crafting yourself if you want to significantly raise your DPS. But hopefully the general principles I provided in this video, I've taken it as far as I can, will take you as far as you need to go, and you can go the rest of the way yourselves. Okay, and here you can see the stampede in action, and you can see halfway through as the debuff kicks in and the health goes down below 35%, the DPS noticeably increases. Okay, so there's the hack. Thank you for watching. If you're not already a subscriber, then please consider doing so, as I have some very interesting material coming up. You do not want to miss that. Thank you for watching. This has been Archveldor. Take care.